I love Spider-Man. Ever since I was a wee lad, I had a knack for the silly red-costumed arachnid fellow. There was one animated show specifically that I really gravitated towards as a pea-brain toddler, though. And that was the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series. Okay, that's enough because of copyright. Being an amateur 3D artist, I thought to myself, I want to recreate a scene from that show. So I did. In this video, I'll show you how I recreated this graphic from the show entirely in Blender. I'll go over the basic steps later in the video too, in case you want to give it a shot. Alright, so basically, first step. I started with making the main man Spider-Man himself, because obviously. To start making a character in 3D, you first have to do this thing called blocking out, which is basically where you take cubes and try to squeeze them into your reference image. Did I forget to mention that it's best to use a reference image? Well, now I am. Side note, it was actually really hard to find a good reference image for this guy, and when I eventually did find a decent looking one that had different angles, Spider-Man didn't exactly stand up straight. Yeah, I didn't notice this at first, but Spectacular Spider-Man doesn't exactly stand up straight in most of his pictures. He's kinda leaning over. Anyway, this is not at all supposed to be a tutorial video, so if you're looking for that, I highly suggest Brand Sculpt's Character Sculpt tutorial. It's how I learned about these different steps. I'll link it in the description below. Alright, so we have our basic shapes in place. Now it's time to move on to sculpting. Here, I used a couple brushes to define Spider-Man's chest, smoothed some of the rough geometry, and added some extra details. Would you look at that? We have a cool looking Spider-Man base. Now, it should be time to move on to painting him and finishing up, right? Retopology. Before this point, I was feeling good, right? I was dancing, I was prancing. If only I had known what horrors awaited me. In Retopology, you take your current mesh that has like 1,000,000 something triangles because of the sculpting phase, which tanks your performance, by the way, especially if you have a potato PC like mine.
Huh? That's weird.
To a much more optimized mesh with way less vertices. Now, my laptop can rest easy, knowing that it doesn't have to fry itself every time I run Blender. Doesn't that just look beautiful and clean? Just don't look at it from the side. With our model perfectly retopologized, we can now finally do the fun part. You'll notice that our guy doesn't exactly look like Spider-Man, he just looks like man.
I'm man.
So, this is where I use the texture paint tab to add all of the color, the lines, and the front and back spiders. Everything is going swimmingly, right? I'm done with the texture painting, and now I'm almost done with the model. Nothing could go wrong, right?
Fuck no, baby!
Turns out, Blender doesn't actually save your texture paint unless you yourself save it manually. So you could probably imagine my horror when I found that all of the suit lines in color were gone. Yeah, so I had to literally go back and draw all the lines again. Take this as a lesson. If you're using texture paint in Blender, save your images. Don't be dumb like me. Oh yeah, and another thing. To really sell that 2D look, I used a toon shader by fellow creator Tobyface. Thanks, man. This shader really elevates the way Spider-Man looks. These cool lenses were also made following another one of his tutorials. I'll definitely be linking them in the description below. With that out of the way, it was time to get Spider-Man to move. To do that, we add an armature. Basically, an armature is a skeleton that you use to move your model. Armature. With that working, we can put Spider-Man in any pose we want. Nah, y'all are freaky, bruh. We have Spider-Man ready to go. The rest is easy, really. I won't bore you with all the details, but I made the buildings you see in the back, the lighting, Doc Ock's mechanical legs, added Electro's electricity to the scene, they're just PNGs. And Sandman's fist, which is a model I found on Sketchfab. Thanks to Maria O for the model. Very cool. And with that, the final scene is done. Here's a side-by-side comparison of my scene and the original graphic. I had a blast making this, and I wanted to pay homage to a series that is just so near and dear to my heart, man. Initially, I planned on making an animation with Spider-Man swinging around the city, but that's just another whole can of worms, bro. I might go back and do it though, but I'm not sure. Anyway, here's just a couple other renders I made with the model. You can just take a look at those. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and potentially subscribing. It really helps. Thanks for watching.